I'm Corbett Wall with USDA Livestock and Grain Market News, here with your weekly feeder and stocker cattle market summary for the week ending March the 29th, where the bulk of your light offering of yearling feeder steers sold steady to $5 higher. And that's mostly all because of the placement number that come in on last Friday's cattle on feed report, coming in at 86, which was well under what all the guesses were, and confirmed what we all know, that there's a light amount of feeder cattle out there available to buy and on feed. But did see a boost in your heavier yearling feeder cattle, especially those weighing over 800 pounds. Now the calves did not seem to get any of that spark, and calf markets were real lackluster early on in the week, selling unevenly, steady to $5 lower, and a lot of your southeastern calf markets were a lot lower than that, some of them sharply lower, especially on your little pee-wee lightweight calves weighing under 4. But all of this happened, you know, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and that's where the bulk of your auction trade is, especially on feeder cattle. Is guys like to have their sales earlier in the week, get them sent to where they're going, get them worked before the weekend. But receipts were curbed this week, a lot due to the storm that come in over last weekend through a lot of the country, coming through parts of Kansas, Arkansas, Missouri, going up into the upper Midwest and places like that, where Joplin hardly had any cattle at all there. 1,600, really light run for them. Oklahoma City was decent, but a lot of your sales there on Mondays and Tuesdays this week were just a lot lighter, and also the receipts were lighter because guys that are selling those cattle are just not real excited about selling them. They're not real crazy about the market. It's not nearly what they thought it was going to be, and it's not a big deal to them if they put it off and sell them a week later if they've got the feed to do it. But all this happened before Thursday, March the 28th. You got to mark that down in your calendar. That was a banner day for the cattleman, especially for this spring. This year so far, it was the biggest positive that cattlemen have had. You started out USDA stocks, grain stocks, and your prospective plantings report come out. Prospective plantings for corn, 97.28 million acres, which is about what they thought it would be, but it was a relief to a lot of cattle people that thought maybe we were getting later on in the spring, and it was getting late enough that some of your corn farmers might decide to plant soybeans. They could yet, but so far as what's come out on this report, it's going to be the largest corn planting since 1936, when we did a lot of it by mule. So it's going to be a huge corn crop planted this year. Your stocks was what was a real big number there. Your grain stocks come in. A lot of the analysts thought it'd just be right at or just above 5 billion bushels. It come out 5.4 billion bushels, which was a huge shot in the arm to the cattle market, because it just shows that we're going to have enough corn to make it. And if it would have come in under what they would have had expected, it would have been hard to say what corn would have done, but it come in significantly lower. We haven't had that much disappearance. Exports haven't been that good as of late, and when those stocks come in as heavy as they did, your corn locked down the 40-cent limit on Thursday. Your feeder cattle locked up the $3 limit as far out as they've got contracts. So it just really helped your deferreds especially. But it was just a kind of a ray of hope that our feed costs might get a little easier or ease up down there. Your corn come down below $7 a bushel for the first time in a month for your nearbys. And you saw that in the sales that are on Thursday, which, like I say, Thursday and Friday are not big auction sale days, but in your Thursday auctions that were having a sale this week in Ogallala and Dalhart and Salina, Kansas, you know, you could just see it. The prices were just sharply higher, especially on calves. It gives the calf guys some hope that are buying these cattle to turn out. In Pratt, Kansas, on Thursday there, they had not quite a full load, but a short load of steers, weighed 606. These cattle were just cattle. No pedigree, no bells and whistles, not a big speech before they come in. but cattle colored up a little bit, put together kind of cattle, but a load of them weighed 606. They were thin and empty, ready to turn out on grass, weighing 606, 177.50. And if that's a precursor to what could happen next week, we better hang on. But now the feeder cattle, all of a sudden last week, it looked like there was no hope in sight for feed costs to ease up. Couldn't seem to get anything done with the fat cattle market. At the same time all this was going on, fat cattle selling $2 to $4 higher, from 127 early all the way up to 129 late in the day. $6 to $7 higher dressed, 204 to 205. We're right back up there bumping against that 130, which is what we can't seem to get over. And if next week we could blow by that 130, that would be significant resistance blow right there. But all of a sudden now we've got a shot for demand on feeder cattle. The weather's turned around. We've got warm temperatures forecasted now. We know our numbers are light, and that's being backed up by almost every bit of data that we've got. Grass is starting to come in places. Now we've all of a sudden got some beef demand. Back east, they're starting to come out of the snow and out of the clouds there. They're going to be lighting these backyard grills up here pretty soon. And those retailers for the beef were kind of short bought because they've been resisting that high cutout value that the packers have been demanding. So they were short bought. Packers had a lot of stuff in storage, and now that they're going to have to start buying out and emptying those coolers, these packers are going to need some cattle. Slaughter's been real light for the past several weeks, so we've just got a lot of things going in the cattleman's favor right now. Regional weighted averages this week in the north central states, 800 to 900 pound steer, 130.54 compared to 126.54 last week and 146.88 a year ago. Down to south central states, 7 to 8 weight steer, 136.36 this week compared to 134.06 last week and 153.54 a year ago. And in the southeast, a 5 to 600 pound steer cost you 144.90 compared to 146.98 last week and 168.06 a year ago. That wraps up your feeder summary for this week. Check out our website for more market information at marketnews.usda.gov. And from the Regional Market News Office in St. Joe, Missouri, we'll talk to you next week.